There's a video making the rounds right now, and it's by a guy named Pastor John Amanchukwu. He goes before a school board meeting and he wants to talk to them about some content that's found in a book. Now, he's not the first person to do this. There's been a whole bunch of people that have done this beforehand, and all of them are complaining about sometimes what are very grossly sexually explicit books that are available to young children. One of the really popular videos was a very young 10-year-old boy who went and rented out a book that was very sexually explicit, and the librarian told him, "I can give you more." He was in front of a school board meeting reading this book aloud, and it was pretty absurd. It was pretty absurd. And after that boy did that, then a bunch of parents started doing it as well. What's really funny is that in a lot of these circumstances, the school boards will stop the people from reading the books and say this is inappropriate. And so then, of course, the question becomes, if it's inappropriate for me to read out loud to other adults in a school board meeting, why would it be appropriate for our children to have access to these types of things? I understand their concern. Sometimes some of these books sound like they're absolutely inappropriate, and I can understand that. Now, what Pastor John Amanchukwu did was decided he was going to capitalize on this trend. He saw that all these parents were doing these in front of these school boards, and he wanted to hop on his soapbox, so he decided to bring a book as well. The name of the book is It's Perfectly Normal. Listen to the words that come out of his mouth, and then afterwards, I'm going to give you my commentary.
This book here, it's called It's Perfectly Normal. I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's becomes erect, stiff, and larger. Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain a few sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? We have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs, but you don't want me to read it. Why? Does it bother you? Yes or no? You can't answer that question. You want to know why? Because politically speaking, you can't say that it's wrong. And you don't want me to read the filth because it exposes the truth. How dare you tell me to stop reading it? If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
That makes two of us.
Now, when I first saw it, I was trying to frame it in the exact same way as the other videos that I've seen with these sexually explicit, inappropriate books. But actually listening to the content, what it sounds like it's describing is sexual arousal in a very objective way. And I started thinking about the fact that obviously we understand what sex education is. No sane person should feel that, hey, we shouldn't teach sex education, because we all understand how uncomfortable that conversation can be, and how so many parents fail to educate their children about sexual education. And it's very, very helpful in the idea that it can help prevent sexual harm. It's just a necessary function of life. Children will become incredibly uncomfortable with their bodies when they start encountering puberty and not understanding what's happening. So it's obvious that these books are important. It's obvious that sex education is important. Just take a book that's teaching sex education and then hop on your soapbox like, you guys are inappropriate for allowing our children to read this, etc., etc., etc. How else do you think that they should be having sex education books inside of a library for the upper end of elementary kids? When I was a child, then, they taught us sex education, I want to say in the 5th grade. I was 10 years old. And it's typical around 10 or 11 years old where they do the formal sex education. So I feel like this is a nothing burger of a book. It's describing what an erect penis is. It's describing what semen is. It's describing that sexual arousal for a woman can result in moisture. Nothing about that is inappropriate. The name of the book is It's Perfectly Normal, because it's explaining to young children who are encountering this, hey, it's perfectly normal. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm wrong here. Look at the book, It's Perfectly Normal. Listen to the words. You guys heard the words that came out of his mouth. Tell me if those things were so inappropriate. Tell me if that stuff was so problematic.